Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time of day it is. Glad you're here. So, I think this is going to be the last video for our Grungy journal. So, I did a bunch of stuff in here. So, it's kind of be a flip through, but I'm also going to show you how I did some distressing and grungifying, some paper clips and safety pins and some other stuff. So, I'm going to do that first and then show you what I used some of them for that I already did. I should have grabbed some of the ones that I did already, but okay. So let me grab them quick. So you can kind of see the difference here. I have some plastic because I don't want to get the stuff on my work surface because I'm going to be using alcohol inks. So here is a few random things, all kind of metal, different types of metals. Different types of things are going to stain differently depending on what their composition is, and that's okay. So here is, I want to show the comparison slightly. I should have gotten a white piece of paper so you can kind of see the difference. Let me see if it shows up on camera much. So you can see, yeah, it's really shiny. Let me get a piece of white paper here. Let's do this. Maybe I'll be able to see them a little bit better if I put some like this. Okay, so you can see these, this side, grungy, kind of look like they've seen some life and some things compared to these guys who are bright and shiny and silver. So there we go. So anyway, hopefully this will make more sense in a minute. I'll leave this white piece of paper here just in case. And go from there. Let's find our friends that we don't need. Get these friends out of the way. Been having lots of great comments. People are really digging the Grungy journal. I got a fun comment about my work surface being grungy. It is. I've had this cutting mat for a very, very long time, and it protects my desk. That's my countertop, even though like the edges, you can see where I have some overspray, overspill. Not always the neatest, but you know what? Sometimes art is messy. So there you go. Okay, couple of different ways you can do this. You definitely want to have some plastic or something that will protect your surface because you are working with things that have alcohol in them. So don't use them directly on your mat because if it will take away your lines and stuff on your mat if you use alcohol on these. So you could put them on a piece of plastic like this and wiggle them around through the stuff. You can use paintbrush to do that. Or another option, which is what I did with those, is I put them in a plastic bag and then wiggle them around inside. So there's a couple of different ways that we can do that. So I'm going to take a few. I wish I had a little bit of a smaller bag, but this is the one I've got. So I'm just putting a few of the things in here to kind of show the different ways that we can do this. Let's put another safety pin in here. Okay, so I'm going to get them all in like one corner. Hopefully this is going to show up really well, or at least you guys will get the idea. So I'm putting them in this plastic bag. So I have them in here. Now I'm going to take a few drops of a couple of different types of alcohol inks. If you want to protect your hands, you totally can. So I'm just putting a little squeeze. That's some green. And then I'm going to put a little red in. You can kind of do whatever mix you want to do with this. So there's a little bit of red, a little bit of green. And then I think I'm going to try this with these. This is a metallic. This is a gold mixative. And it's also, these are all from, I think, Ranger Tim Holtz. Yeah, these are all Tim Holtz ones, these ones that I'm using right now. And then I'm going to put a couple drops of blending solution in here as well. And you can, and I have done this before too, I have just used straight up alcohol, just put a little spritz of alcohol in here. So now I'm just mushing them around in the bag like that. And this is very green compared to what I did before. So we should hopefully get some good color on these guys. You can use different colors. You can use kind of whatever you want to do, kind of tint them to match projects and stuff like that too. So you can make them grungy, you can do just about anything. So now, once we got everything pretty well covered, I'll take a peek and see what we're looking like. Lots of crunching noises, sorry. Yeah, those look pretty good. So I'm just gonna take this piece of paper to dump them onto for now. So yeah, these are really green. Gotta get everybody out of there. Lots of green showing up on these. And if there's anybody, so they kind of have like a green patina, these ones do, which is nice. That metal kind of picked up here and there. I want to get a little bit more on this guy. I like that though. So I'm just going to smush him in there. So I still got stuff down here in the bag. So I'm going to use it. Make sure I got everybody out. I think I did. Okay, I'm gonna close this because I might be able to use a little bit more of that on things in a minute. So to keep that in there. All right, so we got these friends kind of done a little bit. Now I'm gonna show you a different way to do this. So set that off to the side while those dry. That is a nice thing about the alcohol inks is they do dry rather quickly. So I'm gonna do just a little puddle here and there of some different things. Some red. And I'm gonna do a little bit of yellow. This is a different brand that I have. My partner got me, this really cool box of a bunch of different alcoholic inks, and I'm kind of been having fun playing with them a little bit. And there's a ton of different colors. Okay, so now I'm going to just kind of get these in here, get them coated and covered a little bit, and mush them around. So this is very green compared to the other batch that we did, which is totally fine. Get over here, friend. No, come back. So that is another way to do this. So you can use different colors. You can make these, yeah, just really have fun with them, and you can get them to blend, to match whatever projects you're working on this way. Instead of having to buy something, if you have some alcohol ink and some plain metal ones, and metal other bits and pieces too, because I have some jewelry findings in here too that I have added on into the mix as well. I just want to get this friend a little more. And I don't care that they're messy. That's part of what I wanted to do. Another thing you can do to grunge up this kind of stuff is do like rust baths and things, but I really didn't want to deal with that specifically for this project. I will probably eventually do some stuff with some rust baths and things, just to have like a more authentic kind of grunge, but that's a more specific thing for another project down the road. And then the other thing is, if you don't like a color, you can also spray them off with alcohol a little bit if they've gotten too strong or you want to add something different. You can do that as well. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with how these are looking. So I'm going to set them off to dry, and then we are going to get our other little friend. We're going to pull out our book, and I'm going to start showing you what I have done. So let me slide these over, and I'm going to put them on the paper, this piece of paper here. I don't mind that I'm getting some of this stuff on the paper either. That does not bother me. So I'll probably use it for some fodder or something down the road. Okay, so those are good. this friend. Okay. So these will dry, and then we'll be able to use them in other projects too. So you can see this is kind of like a blue patina. These are more green, and then the other ones I did are a bit more like dark. I think I used purple and some other colors like that with those. So there you go. Fingertips. I think we're dry enough. Yeah. Hand sanitizer is your friend. It will get things off your fingers very easily. Okay, so let's just go through here. I'm going to make sure I'm in frame so that I'm showing you guys what we need, what we did. All right, so here is the front of the book. So I added this little panel in here that I had. Some pages we didn't add anything to. They really didn't need it because I wanted to leave space for writing, because I want this to be a journal that somebody can use for things. So here's our journaling card here that we made to go into one of those grungy little pockets. Added this little pinned on thing here. Now I had some that were already kind of darker colored, some of these bulb pins, but yeah, so that's not one I dyed. I did this clip that's here, you'll see on the other side. So this was another little piece we added in here, stuck it in. So here is this side. So this was one that I also dyed in that bath. So this was a bright, shiny metal, and I just added a scrap of paper on here and then clipped this around just for some extra interest. Now I stitched this little tab on here. I think this is distressed enough. I'm going to leave that be, I think. And then when I stitched this on, I added this little piece of paper on this side. Now this is one of our big pockets. I just put a couple of our dyed scraps in this pocket up here. So those are in that big pocket. Then on this side, I cut out one of these little fun things to make a journaling card. I think she's pretty cool. And then I folded up another little bit that I had here to tuck in this pocket. Didn't do anything with this side. I didn't really think it needed it. We did some stapling, added things here and there. Okay, here's the center of this signature. And I added this butterfly. And I don't mind that it's tearing in the middle here. In fact, yeah, let's make that tear a little more. That's fine. I like that. So I put that on there, added some doodles, smudged them. I think this is really pretty. And then we have a little flip up here. Then here's a couple things that we have in this pocket. So we have a thin little tuck spot here. So I made like a really fun, quick little journaling tag just to tuck in there. Then here is this old picture from a book that looks like an old photo that I distressed. I left the other side too, so it's a double-sided one. So I thought that was interesting, a little different. Added a little bit of that there. Then we have this could be a tuck spot up here, so we could tuck something underneath there. I don't know that I have anything handy to throw in there. Let's see. Let's see if I have something to tuck in there real fast. Real fast. Let's see what else we have. You know what? Let's do one of these pieces of paper. And yeah, I'm not going to fold it even to kind of keep on up with that grungy look we have happening. So then there we go. Tuck that friend under there a little bit. And then, so here's one of the safety pins that I grunged up. So it's on this little angel. I kind of feel like it looks like a little halo. And then when I pinned it through, I pinned on another one of our little pieces of lace. Over here, one of our tiny little paper clips, and then I just tucked one of these guys in here. And then I added a little page tab on here, and I put this little friend in there. It's a funny little rabbit friend. And continuing on, some more writing space, didn't add much to those. And then we have this pocket, which has a little journaling card in it that I thought went really well. And then on this side, oops, there we go. We have this pocket that we did. So this kind of goes in here. And then we have this journaling card inside there. So that gets tucked back in. Oh, you know what we need to do? We need to add something down here. So let's see. How about, I think a ball pen is too much. Maybe not. Maybe because it'll lay flat. Let's add in one of the green ones. Are you dry, friend? I think you are. Let's add a green one on here really quick. So we have this little hole. So let's put this friend in here. And then pin something on it. Let me see what we have handy. Do we have something handy that could be cool? I have a piece of book spine. So I'm going to put a piece of book spine on here. And maybe something else. Key. Yeah. Okay. Book spine. And what do we have? What do we have? What do we have? Yeah, I need to cut that. I have something here I'm grabbing because I think it looks kind of fun. So I have a piece of this other little burlap here. I'm going to put that on here as well. And then we'll close this friend up and see if we can get it to lay kind of flat. Flat-ish. Might be a little weird. Let's see. Let's just get you like so. Friendo. There we go. There. Kind of just a little interesting little bippy bop thing. And then this goes back under here. All right, this side we have, I did some staining on this friend too. So I just stuck one of these little letters that I have just for something different. And then on this side, a vintage piece of label from Rick Rack. And then that's that circle paper clip. This side we added some writing space. And then here I decorated the outside of this envelope a little bit more, added the grungy kind of page tab. And then inside, I didn't do anything with the vellum because I thought it was kind of fun. And then I added two little scraps of paper that I added some like little journaling area to. So we can see those through the window, which is kind of fun. And then another little bulb pin here. I did a stamp on this piece of fabric. We did this in our last video. So this is a little flip up for writing space. And then this pocket, which opens both ways, which is kind of fun. Then here, another little bulb pin with a little piece of yarn. Paper clip on this side, which I tucked in this piece of, it's a little card from a game, an old game. And then nothing there. Here's this pocket. I just tucked a couple little old souvenir tag and an old regular tag that I had. Left that in there. Didn't do much else there. Left it kind of fun. This guy, I added some extra on this side. This is still the way that is. Nothing on this side. We don't have to put something everywhere, but we did make this really cool journaling card, which I think is super fun. So that goes in this pocket again. And then a little bit of stamping on here, and that was about it. This is where I wanted to do a little bit of grunging on this. So I just had some leftover on my brush. It wasn't completely dry, and I wanted to tone that down just a little bit so it wasn't so shiny. Give it kind of a fun patina, and I'm just rubbing it. So there we go, because this is aluminum tape. All right, added a little extra on the edge there. That could be writing space. Same on this side. Use some of our fun tape. Here's one of our, a little bit of a grungy paper clip. And I added a vintage piece on this that I thought was kind of fun. So it's just, could be a journaling card, could be whatever. Same on here. And then I just added another little scrap of paper on this side. Here is one of our flips that we put in a while ago. And then extra journaling space here. As well as here, just adding some interests, different places to journal. Here's our little piece of fabric, pinned some other goodies there. You can see we have some slow stitching. I left the string. And we made a little fabric kind of flip with some different types of things here, which I thought was fun. More journaling space. Interesting page here. And then this guy, this is like a little, it's actually plastic. It was in my little bin of just jewelry findings and stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of perfect. So popped an eyelet in here, and I want to grunge that up just a titch with the paintbrush. So I'm going to take a little bit of this. I think I can get my paintbrush in here to get a little bit of this. That might be damp. And then I'm just putting it on there just a little bit. I don't mind that it's getting on other stuff. Just to kind of give it a little bit more of a feel like it's been around or something. So it's not so one note, the color. So there we go. So there's that. Okay. And then this is our envelope that we can slide in and out if we want to, and put some goodies in there. I haven't put anything in there yet. I will though. And then this side, just some doodles, plenty of space to write, whatever you want to do. Here's our next little journaling tag in that pocket. Extra space here. I left this because I just really love these pages and the way that they got distressed on the edges. You can see our staples from the other side where we put our little friend here. Little writing spot. Another little tag that pulls out here. You can write on both sides. More space there. Here's a tuck. We put some goodies in that, and that is just glued along the bottom there. Flip, more space, little hawk, and then of course my favorite are vultures. And then this little tuck that we added some various little writing spaces for, and then did some doodling. And then this side, I added this fun little bit here. This side, I added a little bit of extra to kind of make it kind of flow with things a little bit. Same here, kind of little collage, little this, little that. All right, this pocket, I put this piece in here in this little tuck spot. Got this all kind of fun and funky here. Another little spot to write. This was that fun piece that we put some distress oxides on, sprayed it up, did some fun stitching. It's kind of just more decoration than anything else. Could be added to by whoever gets this journal down the road. Okay, so this piece was kind of interesting. So this is part of a button card, and then I have snaps. So these are snaps, little plastic snaps, and I put some glue on them too to make them hold. So they're double-sided. So one side they have like a rounded head, the other side they kind of have a flatter head, but they're kind of fun to use. And I got a bunch in a box of stuff that I got at an auction. So just kind of stuff that using up here and there, you know, kind of cool. Writing space. Here's another one of our grungy paper clips. And then I just made, this was a reprint of an old postcard. So I just grunged that up, gave it a place to live. Other side, used another one of our scraps to add in there. Put an eyelet on here, used one of our grungy ones, and then just tied a little bit onto it. Added some stamping onto there. Didn't do anything on that side. I thought it was fine. This one kind of added some extra to the page since it was a little shorter page, but I thought that was a little bit interesting thing. Same here. This, you can see the hardware poking through from the other side. So it had a folded, crunched up corner. I just reinforced that. So this could be like a little tuck spot here. And I used a little plasticky bit that I had on my desk. Slow stitching, added a piece of paper in there. Took this, added one of my bulb pins, and added a little leftover jewelry finding on one of our scraps of lace. And then of course I stamped down here, and then you can see the slow stitching as well, leaving everything rumply and bumpily. This side is fun. So this is a little flip out. So we have some journaling space. I used one of those pieces of old, the book that had a bunch of different like old photos in it. So I added that on there, made a little tab out of a sticker, added kind of a little collage thing here. You are a little white, a little too white, my friend. Let's get you colored up a little here. That's better. Why not? Let's use what's there. All right, this side, I didn't do much to here. I thought it was fine. Yeah, I think it's fine. We are gonna do something with this now. So first of all, this guy is definitely too nice. So I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of sandpaper here and there. Make it look like it's been around a little bit. Hit the other side a little too. And then I'm also gonna give it some scratches. And we should be good. Now let's see, let's use a little distress first. And, or actually, you know what? Let's use a little bit of our alcohol ink. I want the stuff from in here. So here's what I'm going to do. Since we have everything blended in here, but I don't want it to be so green, what I'm going to do is I'm going to spritz a little alcohol in this bag. And that should reactivate some of the ink that's in here. So see if we can get something a little darker. I might have to add something else. I hope you can hear me over the crunching and scrunching. So I want it to be a little bit more cruddy than it is. You could also use paint if you don't have alcohol inks. Okay, a kind of a green patina, light green patina I'm okay with. On that, let's get the other side. For this heavy duty grommet that I put in here, heavy duty one. So I wanted a big one. I needed a big one to get the metal bit through there so that I could keep it on. I like the brass here. Okay, so that's nice. It's less silver. That's good. I'm happy with that. And now let's do some Distress Oxide on here. Handle. So use some ground espresso. So this is just, even though it's really old, it looks so new. It is kind of crazy. Might have to hit it like this. There we go. Get the other side a little too. There we go. That's much better. I like what we have happening. Okay, that's good. I dig it. So that's great to me. And then we could tie something else on here, but I'm going to leave it for whoever gets this journal in the future. All right, so that's good. I'm happy with that. Then we have this pocket here with this journaling card inside. So that's there. I don't think I made it a double one. No. All right, this side, little collage, because I just thought it was really good. Added some stamping. I think I did this one on one of the previous videos. Little paper clip here. I left this one silver. We can have some variation. It's totally fine. Library card, a little cleaner's tag. Let's see if this will pull out easy so you can see the back. These little tiny silver paper clips are the tightest. Ugh. They do not, once they're on, man, they're happy. They are good to go. So this is a flip on this side, so it can go on this side or it can go under. I have it over top of that, even though it's fastened here. Then here we have another little paper flip, so we could write on both sides of this paper if we wanted to. Then this side is another fold out this way. Big fold out. And then this is one of our fabric places, grunged it up. We added these two little cutie pies there. I'm getting toward the end here. More writing space, just a fun page. We added this feather. Here we got just a little scrap clipped on there. Same as here. This is kind of like a little journaling card, a little piece of paper. Then we have a nice big flip out here. More writing space. And then we have our pocket, which we made this fun writing card, journaling card with some fabric and other scraps. Did some stenciling. More writing space there. And then our last page, which has a big flip out here. And then, of course, our back pocket with this friend that we stuck in here for writing. We get more space in there if we wanted to. I like him just peeking out just a little bit, like that. And then this was our last our pocket that we sewed on the back. So there you go. She got a little thick, but you know what? I love it. With all of the stuff sticking out on the edges. Our beads on the spine, looking great. So there you go, friends. I hope that you enjoyed this video and you enjoyed this series, because this is the grand finale here. So our journal is finished and I think it looks amazing, and I had a ton of fun, learned some things. I hope you guys did too. I hope you enjoyed the video series. Let me know if you want to see another series like this or a different type of style, or if there's other things that you want to see. Yeah, just let me know. I like having ideas bounced off. And I know I've got some other things in the works. Some other people have mentioned some stuff that they would like to see done. There we go. I kind of tried to tie it too much. I just want it like this. Like so. There. All right. So there we go, guys. So let me know leave me a comment. Let me know what's going on. What you want to see. What should we work on next? Do we want to do another series project where on Sundays, that's our series day to do some sort of projects. And then Tuesdays, we have Tiny Tuesdays. And then, of course, on Thursdays, it's kind of a catch-all, whatever kind of thing I'm feeling. So let me know, friends. And don't forget, art with your heart. Have a great day.